Nice to have you. Okay, explain this to me. The president's proposed a budget. Congressman Paul Ryan has proposed a budget. I understand you don't like it. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent. But the Senate has not proposed a budget, and we have to wait until the Senate proposes a budget so that we can sort of have this reconciliation or this sort of give and take between the House and the Senate and get a budget. Is that sort of how the process works?
Normally, there's a budget proposed by the president, a budget that is adopted by the House, adopted by the Senate, but basically the budget process is an expression of the party who drafted that budget's values, and it's a blueprint for how you're going to structure the nation's fiscal house. And
okay,
so basically that's what it comes down to.
Okay, so the House budget's Republican, so I understand those are different values than your own, but that without the Senate having quite different. No, I understand that. But without the Senate having a budget, it sort of stops everything. And the Senate is currently run by a majority by the Democratic Party. They have actually 54 votes if you consider the 51 Democrats, 2 independents who caucus with the Democrat, and of course they get the vice president. And until the Democrats until the Senate has its budget, it doesn't enable you to sit down and work your values out and talk and try to work at a solution for the rest of the country. That's the problem I see it. It's not whether people like Congressman Ryan's budget or not, it's that the Senate has stopped everything.
Well, that's not it at all. And actually, you've had the majority, as I understand it, of Republicans in the Senate fully embrace the Ryan budget. We really can call it the Ryan-Romney budget now because Romney has fully embraced it as well. And I mean, I think it's very clear. We've got the Ryan-Romney vision for how we should structure our nation's budget. Basically, we should cut our way to deficit reduction. We should slash education, slash health care. Turn Medicare into a voucher program. Give Medicaid back to the states. I mean, I'll
give you a hypothetical. I'll give you a hypothetical. Let's say you and I both agree that the Romney, I wouldn't call it Romney, the Romney-Ryan budget is horrible. The problem is, though, is that because the Democrats dominate the Senate, they could have a Senate Democrat budget so that the process could continue, and that's really because you've got 54 votes. All you need, because it's an economic, is 51.
The Senate will. I'm confident the Senate will take up a budget. And but let's focus on what's important here. Process is not what we should be obsessing over.
Well, we can't get to a solution. You can't get to a solution. You can't. It doesn't even matter what the Romney budget is. The Romney budget, but the Ryan budget is irrelevant because because nobody can get to it to discuss it because there's a stop. I'm even giving it to you in this hypothetical
about a budget that has passed the House of Representatives that would end Medicare as we know it, that would turn Medicaid back to the states, cut it by the largest cut, and it certainly does exist. It's a budget that passed the House of Representatives.
The president can't sign it. It hasn't come out of the Senate. I mean, it's a fantasy until there's nothing that you've got to get something out of the Senate. You've got to get something out of the Senate.
Okay, Greta, you're going to stipulate that it would that we would call it the Romney-Ryan budget, and I'd ask that you stipulate that the Senate should take up a budget, and I expect that they will. And then let's talk about the substance of those budgets because that's what matters.
Okay, good. All right, now just about this. The thing is, though, is that Senator Harry Reid has refused to put a budget on the floor, and I'm curious because that's simply not true. So he will?
That's simply not true. I expect that the Senate will take up a budget. I haven't heard Harry Reid say anything close to that he's not going to put a budget on the Senate floor.
Can you give me an estimate of what you've heard when? Because the American people are sort of curious. I mean, when do you think that'll happen in the Senate?
Well, Greta, I'm a member of the House of Representatives, so you really need to ask either Harry Reid's office or a member of the United States Senate.
They won't answer it. I've tried.
Well,
honestly, I swear.
I don't speak for them.
I've tried.
I don't speak.